Hi, Christian here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an extension cord.
The tools I'm going to use for the project are an adjustable knife, wire strippers, capable of doing number 16 wire, and a green handled number 1 Robertson. The parts I'm going to use here are a 515P male cord end, 15 amp, 125 volt rating, and a female cord end, 515R, 15 amp, 125 volts as well. And the cord itself, 3 conductor 16 AWG, SJOOW.
I'd just like to point out at this time for all you electrical students that the type of cord we're using, SJOW, as seen in Table 11 in the Canadian Electrical Code, has a 300 volt rating. If you didn't see it on the cord, it's outdoor flexible cord for hard usage and for wet or damper dry locations. I'd also like to point out the ampacity of the cord we're using. According to Table 12, you got a size 16. If you scroll over to the column for SJOW, which you can see it right here, with 2 current carrying conductors, we're good for 13 amps.
First thing to do is to strip off the ends of the cable. The gauge I like to use to know how much is to line up at the end of my thumb and go about halfway between the bottom of my nail and my knuckle. Okay? Gives me a good length. About right there. When you make the cut, don't cut in too deep to the insulation. Go all the way around and make the final cut along the length of the cable. And you can cut a little bit deeper on the end because you're going to strip off the ends of the insulation anyway, of the inner insulation. So no worries about damaging the inner conductors by going too deep at that point. Then you want to strip off the paper, or cut the paper off. You can use your cutters on your wire strippers, cut the little string, and all 3 of these pieces of paper. So you're left with this. And do that for the other end. So now that I've got these ends exposed, the conductors are visible on both ends here now. With this end of the cable, with the green wire on top, you can see that the white is on the left-hand side, the black is on the right-hand side. On the other end of the cable, the green on top, you can see that the black is on the right-hand side and the white is on the left-hand side. Now that's going to correspond with going straight into the terminals on one of these connectors. So here I have the male terminal with the green on top, the brass on the left, and silver on the right. There's a saying in electrical called black on brass. So in order to have these conductors break out of the cable assembly and not cross over each other like this, no crossing over, but a straight breakout, straight into the right terminals. This is the right end of the cable that matches up. Having the black on brass, white on silver, and green on green. Now I just have to strip the ends of the conductors and put the connectors on. Now it's time to strip the ends of the conductors. But how much? Well, you want just the right amount, as the same length as the length of this clamp, of the clamps that the conductors go into, okay? So if I hold that up there, about that much there. You can measure it just by holding it up. And strip it off that much length. You don't want to go too long either. And do that for all of these now, to the same length. Before you put that on, you have to slide the connector body over top the cable. So push that through. The wires may get a little bit messed up, so twist the loose stranded conductors together. Make sure it matches up again. Oh, the other one. Green to green. White to silver. And black to brass. So hold the connector upside down so the gravity opens the connector, the clamp. Start by clamping one in. And then do the same for the others. Now I've got all these connected. Green to green, white to silver, and black to brass. It's time to line up the connector body with the connector itself. So you see that tab right there? That has to line up with this slot on the connector body in order for the screws to line up. So I take that tab, line it up with the slot, should feel it click in, and proceed to tighten all of these screws down. All the screws are tightened down now. Now you just want to check that the clamp on the connector body is going to pinch only the outer insulation of the cable, which it is. I can see the insulation inside sticking past the clamp. And now to tighten these screws down. And make sure that the cable doesn't slide back and forth. So there's sufficient pressure to hold the cable end on the cable. So this end's all tightened up. Now it's time to do this end. So I have to slide the connector body over. Twist the ends of the conductors up again. And connect this end in the same fashion as I did the male end. So this end's all hooked up now. Green on green, black on brass, and white on silver without any crossovers. I just have to line up that slot with this tab now and tighten up the screws. The screws are all tightened up, no movement there. I can see insulation sticking past the clamp, and time to tighten these screws down. This clamp's now tightened down, no linear movement. Everything's tightened up, and the extension cord is now complete.